Hello everyone. Today I'll be discussing one of the questions asked in finance portion of RBI Grade B mains examination. And the question is, explain in detail RBI's Retail Direct Scheme, including the scope, applicability, charges, fees, etc. So now, when we see this question, you can divide these questions into few parts. That is, first you have to give a small introduction about what exactly the scheme is. That is, RBI's Retail Direct Scheme. What exactly it is. Then it is asking about the scope and then the eligibility or the applicability of the scheme. Then we can add on the services offered, the benefits that this scheme has, because the question is asking the explained part of the retail direct scheme. So you have to add much more points about what all are the benefits of this scheme. Then we can give a conclusion part. So let's start the answer. First is introduction. Introduction, we have to give a small definition that what exactly this scheme talks about. That is, it is a one-stop solution to facilitate investment in government securities. This is the crux of the scheme. That is, the RBI is actually facilitating the retail investors to invest in government securities directly. Okay, so there is no it is very it gives actually a hassle-free approach to invest in government securities. So under the scheme, individual retail investors can open a gilt securities account, that is RDG account, retail direct gilt account. If you when you see this word gilt, you should remember that it talks about government, that is central or state government, with RBI, the account with RBI. So using this account, you can the retail investors can buy and sell government security through online portal. So everything is digitalized. Through online portal, we can access, that is, the retail investors can access this particular service, that is the scheme, to buy and sell government securities. Okay. Now comes the scope. So we need to add many more points to actually give the examiner that you know much more about the scheme. So we have to. It's better we give we write the answer in bullets. So first, the first point is, opening a RDG account will allow individuals to buy government securities directly in the primary as well as buy and sell in the secondary market. Now comes the second point. It talks about the retail investors can actually invest in varied securities that can, as we are aware about treasury bills, then state development loans, then there is sovereign gold bond, SGB, etc. Then the third point is, it offers a risk-free investment, because since we are actually investing in government security, so it is it's a very viable option for those people who want a low-risk investment. Okay. Now comes the next point that talks about the capital gains. As we know that there is an inverse relationship between bond price and interest rate, so there is actually a prospect of capital gains here when we invest in GSECs. So the next point is all about transaction. That is, since we know that government security is basically a very liquid option for investors, and it is actually considered as a very easy option for many people who want a very readily available investment option. So the RBI is basically offering its negotiated dealing system, that is NDM, for retail investors to invest in GSECs. Okay, now comes the portfolio diversification. So since we are investing in government security, it actually opens a varied options. That is, a varied number of portfolios can be invested. So that is what is portfolio diversification. Now, next part of the question is the applicability. Who all can access this particular scheme offered by RBI? So somebody who have a rupee savings bank account that should be maintained in India. Then comes a person with a PAN issued by the Income Tax Department, and anyone who has a valid document for Know Your Customer, then a valid email ID and a registered mobile number. So you can understand that it is a basic eligibility actually that any person can have. So now comes the very idea about the non-resident retail investors. Actually, even they are eligible to access this particular scheme to invest in government security because it has been allowed under FEMA, that is Foreign Exchange Management Act 1999. Now, next part of this question is the services offered, that what all things comes under the RBI scheme of retail direct scheme. Okay, so if we see this, the first point talks about the internet banking. That is, the payments for making investment can be done very conveniently because since we can use it through your savings bank account, so the transactions can be done through internet banking and UPI. Okay, so and it also talks about the toll-free telephone number through which you can seek any help or the support facilities for any kind of any services that we need, any queries. Okay. Now comes the next point that talks about the buying government securities through primary auctions. Okay. Then comes the buying and selling government securities in the secondary market. Then the same, it can be bought and sold as sovereign gold bonds in the primary and secondary market. Then we can the investor services that includes account statement, nomination facility, etc. Then grievance redressal is also there. Then comes the last point that talks about the retail direct account is actually completely free of charge. It is a very impressive idea to actually give these services free of cost. So the person who is investing in this scheme can actually access all the varied services that this particular scheme offers very easily, and it is very lucrative for people who wants to invest. Okay, so this actually reduces the transaction charges as well, in which they are otherwise required to pay. Okay. So finally, we have to conclude this question by saying that this idea of RBI to propose this retail direct scheme is very laudable and very impressive because it offers actually a greater participation of retail investors in the market, and it also spearheads the vision of financial inclusion that our central government has been propounding for quite some time. Thank you.